Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander with Bona Adhesives.
I'm Rob Johnson with the Merry Bona Training.
Hey Rob, how we doing?
Pretty good. How are you
Yeah,
doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic.
Nice.
We it didn't work out during Thanksgiving. We were both on the road and we didn't get to talk much about Thanksgiving. We often do, and now Christmas is coming up, or the holiday seasons, however you uh, celebrate them. And Rob and I wanted to say, Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy Holidays, and what have you. But Rob and I are always the ones on here, and the ones that you maybe see or hear. And there are so many people that make this thing work. So many people behind the scenes that my wish that if I had a wish, I'd almost wish that everybody could see the people that are in all the departments at Bona and go to a sales meeting and see how much they really care about what they do. I mean, I talk about the marketing department. Chris is on here that works with us, and he does so many things at Bona with the videos and what have you, and Eileen, and there's just so many people. And so when we say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, it's from the entire Bona family and their families that put so much into this, that do this every day. So
It's funny you said that because we're just started doing our holiday schools. And this week I was in Charlotte, and Charlotte was the kickoff for the first holiday school of the year. And so here are the departments that were represented at that holiday class. So you had me from tech and training. You had Larry, who's a territory manager. You had Mark Raymond, who's an adhesives manager. You had Robbie Smith from product management. Oh my God, I cannot believe I can't remember this woman's name. So, did the kickoff for the holiday schools, and the first one was in Charlotte. And, you're talking about all the people behind the scenes um, at the school. So we had territory managers, we had adhesive managers, we had tech and training there. That's three departments. We had product management people there, and we had a lab person there.
was there any
So,
ladies from the PM department there?
any ladies from the PM?
From the lab department or anything?
Yeah, I just said,
Okay,
and
okay,
and we had a person from the lab.
okay,
I was trying to stay gender neutral there and say,
okay, okay. I'm
a
with you.
person from the lab. But
Okay,
anyways, what a great thing for the students to see of, how many moving parts there is to what's going on at Bona. Because a lot of times, a contractor just walks into a distributor and he grabs a jug off of the shelf, and that's Bona. You know, you really don't know what went into that jug. And
yeah,
once we started talking about, actually, when we got into the chroma discussion, and we were, teaching the chroma, but first, we start off with a little theory behind the chroma, and then we go do the hands-on. But there was a lot of people involved in, just getting that stuff in the jug, you know. And it was great that, because not I don't really get that at a lot of the trainings. You don't get that many people from different departments. And the product management guy, Robbie, he was out talking about, what they did and everything. And then the person from the lab, she was talking about everything that they did. And, I was like, holy crap, I didn't know all this was going on, you
hmm
know, and how they have to work together. By the time they get it out to guys like you and I, it's like, okay, here you go. And
yeah,
now, we're the ones who are out there looking like rock stars.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So when you're talking about, as soon as you said about the people behind the scenes with this, I mean, look at the show.
yeah,
Even just with our show, how many
yeah.
people, if you and I couldn't do this.
No, are you kidding?
You know what I mean?
The-
We wouldn't even be able to find the microphone.
No, and well, we even now to hook them up and everything, we were lost.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You
So
imagine that if we didn't have the people behind it in the show? Right.
No, it'd be impossible.
Yeah,
We're
we
very,
could
very
do some
fortunate.
things. Not even close.
Um, yeah, and I extend this to our distributor partners as well, that the guys behind the counter and everything that sell the products when we're not there. And even if you look at our plant where the guys are loading the adhesive pills on the pallets and all that kind of stuff. And uh there's so many people that are involved in this. And again, I know how much they care and how much they get excited about it, because we get a chance to come back and see them in meetings every year. But it means a lot to them. And we just wanted, so from the whole Bona family, we just want to say happy holidays, everybody. And there's it's one of the hardest jobs in the world, doing floors, man. It's a hard job. And we've been doing this for 7 years now, Rob.
Yeah. Yeah. 7 years we've been doing this.
So
I thought,
if
when
you
we
listen,
started this, I thought we'd have, maybe we can do 10 episodes.
yeah, yeah,
I was
especially after the
thinking, maybe,
first,
I was thinking, yes, yeah,
yeah,
don't listen
yeah,
to those first 10.
yeah.
Right.
So, if you've been listening to us for those 7 years, or even off and on here and there, I mean, that's 7 more years that you've been in this industry. Um, and again, it's what do you say? The average age is 56 years old or so. That's doing the work right now. It's a very difficult job. It's a hard job. It's a labor intensive job. It's a stressful job. And the holidays are important. And I hope everybody, I worked a lot of holidays. I'm almost embarrassed to say how many holidays and weekends I've worked in my life. And I've worked Thanksgivings. I've worked on Christmas coding, which we didn't consider that a work day because we're just coding, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But and you know how it goes.
No,
So
I know exactly how it goes, especially when I was in sport. There was one year, all of our sport guys out there, all the guys listening on sport, uh, holidays are not really holidays for us.
mm,
Holidays are when the schools are closed and, oh, okay, good. I got to get in there, you know. We've got so many schools, they're all closed for a week or two, and man, you gotta turn and burn in those. So for our sport guys out there, I know what you're going through, and these holidays can be because you're also trying to celebrate the holidays. You want to be with your family, you want to do everything else,
mm,
but it is that time of year where we're getting in all those sport recoats around the Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays. So they're out there. I was training a crew up in Minneapolis a few years ago, and the guy's like, is it possible that you could get here uh, on the 26th, the day after Christmas? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's a depressing day for me, anyways, right?
yeah,
I don't. All right, I don't mind work. So I thought, you know what? I bet nobody flies on Christmas. I'm gonna fly out Christmas night.
mhm,
All the kids are all worn out, and you know what I mean. It's like,
yeah,
a Christmas night is like you're just punking out on the couch and taking a deep breath,
yeah,
right? Exhaling. So I thought, hell, I'll fly out Christmas night. That'll be easy. There'll be nobody on the plane.
mhm.
Oh, oh my gosh, that was one of the biggest mistakes. One of the biggest traveling mistakes I ever made.
Wow,
Could have been one of, yeah, because me and like 4 million people thought the same exact thing. I'm gonna outsmart everybody and fly on Christmas night. And
bad, huh?
yeah, it was rough.
Wow,
But
wow.
hey, I made it there in the morning, and you know, we
Well,
got we got all the jobs done. But to my sport guys out there, our sport guys, I know how tough this holiday is because you're trying to juggle the holidays and that packed up schedule too.
sometimes even though you work, it almost feels like a holiday, because nobody else is working. You know,
Yeah,
on the job sites, there's nobody else there a lot of times. And so you don't have to deal with all the everybody else that you're, having to, run around and work around. So there's that. And also, if you're coding, if it's just a coding day, when I started in the business, I worked with my Uncle Stan, obviously, and we would start the morning by going to a cafe and having breakfast. Now think about that. I mean, nowadays people don't have time for that. Like I can't imagine like, all right, guys, well, let's go down here and I'm talking about not McDonald's. I'm talking about a regular restaurant. You sat down, you could have a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. No, no,
it was
no. Yeah,
relaxing.
absolutely.
And so yeah, obviously, when we're doing floors, we don't. No one has time for that. You're learning. You're learning. I mean, you're burning money, man. These guys got to be humping. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But around the holidays, even to go out on that day for breakfast or something, or around that time with the guys and just go have a piece of pumpkin pie. Good God, I love pumpkin pie with whipped cream on it. I used to hate pumpkin pie. I don't know what happened to me now. I love it. You
I
never
think
know,
that
looking
all
at
comes
me.
with age. I think
Yeah,
I think it once you hit 60,
yeah.
you start the pumpkin pie thing, and then when you hit 75, it's mincemeat.
Oh gosh. Oh
You
man,
can't
don't
live
tell me
without
that.
mincemeat pie. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So anyhow, we hope everybody has a great holiday for themselves, gets to take a little time off with your family. So from our family and our extended family to your families, happy holiday. We hope 2026 is a great year for you. We'll talk about that later. And happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, to stay with the Christmas theme here, like I had mentioned at the top of the show, we've got our holiday schools going, and it is just amazing what these holiday schools have turned into. It started we did one in New Jersey about 5 or 6 years ago, I'm not sure, and now we're up to four. We're doing one in Charlotte, we're doing one in Nashville, we're doing one in Colorado, and we're doing one. The last one will be in New Jersey. And Wayne, I just hope you can make one of these, the Nashville one,
I,
next
I,
week,
I will.
because I got to tell you, it's a whole new type of training. There's music, there's good food, there's Christmas music, and just a lot of great camaraderie, and just to watch. I think in Colorado they do stuff for the food bank, and the other three schools we do the Toys for Tots thing. And like I said before, it's just one of my favorite times of the year to see these guys walking through the door with armloads of toys, with just a giant smile on their face. Everybody just, I'm not saying that people aren't happy when they come to the trainings, but this is just a different kind of happy. I mean, I just think everybody has a great feeling, and especially, for such great things, Toys for Tots and food banks and things like that. It really sets the tone for that. I don't want to sound corny, but the giving time of year, and it just puts everybody in a super mood. Boy, if you can come to one of the schools, like I said, next week, this week was Charlotte. Next week is going to be Nashville, and I think Denver next week,
Mhm.
or is it the week after? But check the website, show up. Even if you can't make it for the school, come on in, bring a toy, bring something for the food bank, say hi, have a bite with us, have a cookie, listen to some music, have some stories with people, catch up with old friends, things like that. I mean, this is just a great time of year. Just an awesome time of year. I look so forward to this. But I got to tell you, I get when it's over, I'm bushed. I'm pretty tired,
Well,
but it's a good tired.
mhm. That's very sweet. When I got there on a Saturday after the class was over and they had the big, huge box full of toys. And it's amazing to see how many toys were in that box. My brother and I took them to the flea market and sold them and got 180 bucks.
Like I said, man, it's all about the spirit of giving. That's fantastic. You probably went out and bought a couple cases of Ripple with it.
No, bought some fishing lures, of course.
All
No, I'm kidding. All right, Rob. This has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. So please stay tuned for another episode.